Hello everyone, welcome to StraightA. Dawson here, back with another video here today, and we're talking about the Detroit Lions. I know everybody's favorite team, honestly, probably America's team at this point. They had a spectacular previous season, but Dan Campbell leading the charge, Jared Goff having a breakout type year. Well, not breakout, but more like a resurgence. This team, top to bottom, has just produced star after star after star, and this scheme is getting scary. How will the Detroit Lions do this time? Let's find out here today. If you enjoy the video, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and comment any suggestions for future videos below. Let's get right into the video. As always, let's review the starting lineup here for the depth chart. Jared Goff, of course, leading the helm here, has, again, seriously done really, really well. I mean, he's been a good quarterback. He's always been reliable, but he's really elevating himself to a level that we have just not seen from him prior. Or not, I shouldn't say we haven't seen from him, but that a lot of people haven't expected from him prior. So the fact that he's doing as well as he has is amazing. They got Hendon Hooker behind him, so luckily I think Jared Goff will still be the guy there. David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs have been basically the lightning and thunder duo. David Montgomery is listed as the one, which makes sense because he is getting most of the backs. He's getting most of the carries. Jahmyr Gibbs is getting a lot of the receiving love too. So David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs are pretty much 50-50, so I don't want to take this away from Jahmyr Gibbs. But I am treating David Montgomery as the running back one. So when I make my stats predictions, I'm using him, but I'll make a note of Jahmyr Gibbs. This has been a great double up though. They could easily, in a very, very good year, as long as they both stay healthy, could easily both reach 1,000 yards. They almost basically did it together this last year, basically 2,000 yards rushing together. David Montgomery is a beast. He's had a really good resurgence for his career as well, and Jahmyr Gibbs has been just electric out there. Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the best receivers in the league. Honestly, right up there for me with CeeDee Lamb. The fact they're doing what they're doing with, quarterbacks that aren't like the stars. Like Dak Prescott and Jared Goff are not top 5, but they are doing amazing with some of the next tier of quarterbacks. And it's really, really great to see from them. They have done amazingly well. Amon-Ra is going to be so important to this team next year, and I think he's going to do really well. Jameson Williams, he's hit or miss. He's had some ups and downs to his career. Luckily, it seems like he's now on a good plains. He's on the flat ground now. He looks like he's going to be able to continue going forward. Khalif Raymond, don't know too much about him, but he's a reliable 3, I think. So we'll see. Sam Laporta, one of the best tight ends, possibly one of the best yardage tight ends this next year too. Sam Laporta is a beast. I think he's going to be really, really important for this team this next season. The O-line is probably arguably one of the best O-lines in both rushing and pass blocking in the whole league. They have such a great team and they have such a great scheme around that, and they have just done super well. Their defense has gotten a lot better. Their secondary built from scratch again, and now is really, really doing well. I'm kind of highlighting. So, okay, I don't know why it's doing the thing it's doing, but okay. Carlton Davis, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Terrion Arnold, and a decent depth right here at secondary. I think they have very good potential of being a really damn good secondary, and I think they could be the best secondary in the league this next year. Maybe that's a little bit ambitious, but they didn't do as well last year. They had 17 interceptions. But they never know. The fact they got 17 interceptions with also not being the best secondary is a really good sign for them doing well. Either way, their D-line, I think, has just been reliably good. They're going to do well. I don't know if they'll break out and be amazing, but Aiden Hutchinson is going to be great. Marcus Davenport's going to be great. Jack Campbell has been good. Derek Barnes has been awesome to watch. I think this team has a lot of good potential in the defensive side of the ball. Looking at the previous years, again, covering over Jared Goff, I mean, ever since his Lions years, he's been in the 4,000s. Well, actually, aside from his first year, I guess, because before that it was Matthew Stafford. His first year was pretty rough with him, but they had a pretty rough team with a very bare minimum team going on. Then now that they've had this more resurgence of a career, Jared Goff has done really well under center. He's gotten almost 30 touchdowns every year. He's gotten 30 last year, definitely, and he's usually around the 10 to 12 interception mark. The sacks are very, very fucking low for this team, about 30 to 40, pretty damn good. Jared Goff also doesn't rush very often, so we'll not really note that. Amon-Ra, 1,500. He's also got 1,100, I believe. Yeah, right there. And then he got 900 the first year with Jared Goff. So it's up and down, but it's been only going up from here. And honestly, I don't see that changing. He's going to be even more of a focus point than always. Rushing-wise, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, of course, it's their first year together here. I could pull up David Montgomery on his past here, and we could look at that, but I don't think it's going to be really notable because, again, he was in a system that wasn't really reliant on him as the running back. He got 800 to 1,000 yards, which he's reliably getting 1,000 yards. He has 4.6 carries on average. I think he could easily reach 1,000 again. I think him or Jahmyr Gibbs will definitely reach 1,000. It's just depending on who, because obviously it could be injury, could be whatever. So, again, I'm subbing David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs in for each other in this one, so I'm making very clear note of my predictions for the running back one for the Lions. The second one will probably get 200 yards or less or so. roughly. Because if we look at the Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, they were literally within 50, 60 from each other, 55, 65, 70 from each other. So pretty good. Touchdowns will be super good between them. Jahmyr Gibbs will get some of the breakout ones, some of the receiving ones, and David Montgomery will just batter on through any D line to get that end zone push. Looking at receiving again, other than Amon-Ra, Sam Laporta has been such a big focus. 889 yards with 10 touchdowns, I believe. Yeah, amazing. He's going to be so essential this next year, and I think he's going to be one of the best tight ends in the league next year. Other than that, no one has really gotten to the 700s too much. I don't think Jameson Williams will have a breakout year that much. So Khalif Raymond probably not. I imagine they'll probably split a little bit, or they'll both get into 600s or 500s, something like that. But we'll see how that actually ends up panning out. Meanwhile, in terms of secondary, again, they haven't been very good in the past, but they've gotten a decent amount of interceptions last year, so they weren't as bad as I thought they were. I guess their coverage was either really hit or really miss, so we'll see how they do this next year. Previous years, though, they've been really bad, but again, I can't really look at the 2020, 2021 stats because they're a whole new team in 2022 and 2023 and now going into 2024. So their defense, again, has done a healthy number of sacks, has been consistently going up from here. We'll look at this previous year's sack number at least and kind of give you an idea. 41 and then 16, my bad, not 17 interceptions. I think they'll only go up from here. And again, I think they're going to be one of the better defenses in the league, probably more notably on the secondary side. But other than that, we're going to go right into the predictions and kind of showcase what I believe this team is capable of this next year. I'll be honest with you, I'm not really going to overthink this one too much. Detroit Lions are a damn good team. I think they're going to stay a damn good team. They might get their schedule's a little bit harder, so they might struggle a little bit in winning games. But still, the Lions are a fucking beast of an organization. Dan Campbell's still going to take the risk to win these games, and I think they're going to be aggressive to every team they play, no matter how good they are. That's going to be just my initial reaction to that. Jared Goff, I'm going to say he does fall into the 4,000 to 4,500 range more than the 4,500 to 5,000 range. Not to say he'll regress any. It's just that different years he's going to everything kind of peaks and goes. I think last year he had 30 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. I'm going to take away a couple touchdowns, take away an interception or two. Not for any particular reason, just purely because I think he was close enough to 4,500 where he did break the mark, but I just don't think he'll do that again. It's hard, but he's going to get high 43, 44. He's going to be very consistently good. 28 touchdowns, very respectable too. Took away an interception, so he's at 11 interceptions now with that one. So I think all this is very fair. He'll get a random rushing touchdown or a quarterback sneak or something, and he'll have less than 100 rushing yards. I think this is all still very fair, still very similar. I took a slight step back. I was kind of putting my foot down a little bit back, just because I don't think it's reasonable to. I don't think it's unreasonable either way, but I think he'll slightly regress more than slightly, progress. But that's not me saying that he's going to do bad. It's me saying he's still going to do very damn good. It's just I don't know. I think he's going to take a slight step back. David Montgomery or Jahmyr Gibbs will get 10 rushing touchdowns and up to 1,250 rushing yards. Again, whoever the running back one is, this is the stat I'm going with. The second one I predict will be around 890, right on the cusp of 900, but 808 of the 900 rushing yards. And they'll probably get, honestly, could be more rushing touchdowns. I predict they'll pretty much be net even there. But I'll say 9 rushing touchdowns for the second running back. There you go. If you want an official prediction for both of them, there you go. Jahmyr Gibbs gets 800 and 900 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns. There you go. But they could swap. I'm not going to say they aren't because I'm just listing David Montgomery as the number one because that's what the website lists. With receiving yards, I think Amon-Ra, if CeeDee Lamb isn't the main receiver next year in terms of receiving yards, I think it'll be Amon-Ra. Genuinely, I think Amon-Ra is just that damn good. I think he's so essential to this team. I don't think you'll see as many end zone receiving touchdowns, purely because I think Sam Laporta will be so dire in that league, and I think that they'll split the ball a little bit better. And I think teams are covering him a little bit better, but I think they're still going to break out and do extremely well. Amon-Ra, 1,500 plus receiving yards, 9 receiving touchdowns, easy. Jameson Williams, less than 700 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. We'll go with that. Again, I don't think he'll break out and have a great year, but sue me. Sam Laporta, I think will break 1,000 receiving yards, and he could get more receiving touchdowns. Receiving touchdowns is really hard, by the way, because they could get 10. A person with 200 yards could get 4 touchdowns. It's so hard to predict. I'm just throwing out a number out there because I think this is roughly where the range is at. Where I think he'll get more yardage use, but I think he'll kind of get a little bit less end zone use. So I think this is a slight step back for Amon-Ra and Sam Laporta too, but shouldn't be enough to really tip the scales of what I think for Jared Goff. So we'll see, but it'll be very curious. I think they'll be one of the best O-lines in the league next year. I think they have that potential. Sacks predictions, I'll put them slightly above average, 40 to 44 sacks next year. Pretty respectable. I think they have a really good defensive line, but I think on a really damn good team, it's the weakest link, if that makes sense. So now secondary does have a chance to be boom or bust, but I think they will be the best secondary. I think they'll get 25 plus interceptions or the most in the league. because this is like the top tier. This is only one team is in this tier, and I'm putting the Detroit Lions here. So if the most interceptions in the league is not 25, obviously they can't reach it, but I think they will get the most interceptions in the league. So boom, bada bing. Looking at their schedule, again, they don't have an easy schedule. They're what's called their division, not very easy. Packers are always aggressive to them. The Bears this year have very good potential. Never know what the Vikings can do. I think they'll sweep the Vikings and split with the other teams as a safe bet, so I'll put them at 4-2 with there. Looking at the Bills and Jags and Tennessee here, I think they win 2 out of 3 of these games. So we'll put them at 6-3. And looking at these other games, I put them at 2-1 as well, winning 2 of these games and losing 1 of these games. So so they'll go be 8-4 there. Then we're looking at the Cardinals. I think they'll win there, 9-4. Looking at these 4 teams, I think they split 2-2. There's a lot. These 4 teams, Texans, Colts, 49ers, Cowboys, damn good teams. That's tough. Those are tough teams to beat. So I'm going to give them split. I think it could be 1-3, though. Let that be known. I think it could only win 10 games, but I am going to go with have a 11-win season. I think they're going to be 11-6, but they're going to be in 10-11 win category, and Detroit Lions will be having a very, very good playoff push. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave any suggestions for future videos below, and I'll see you all in the next one. See you later.